Do you enjoy our YouTube content? Do you wish there was more? Well, now there is. Patreon.com/PowerCast Network. There you will find, just starting at $5 a month, more access to podcasts, to shows, to other saves. Check it out today, everybody. That's patreon.com/PowerCast Network. Welcome, everybody, to this edition of Spotlight with Brad Drake, brought to you by the PowerCast Network, patreon.com/PowerCast Network. Today, everybody, we are going to be taking a look at September 9th, 1981, and what was going on in the wrestling world that day. So let's travel down to the Southeast to Championship Wrestling from Florida. They ran that night at the Convention Hall in Miami Beach, Florida. In the main event, Dusty Rhodes defeated Harley Race by disqualification to defend the NWA Heavyweight Championship of the world. Jerry Lawler and Charlie Cook defeated Dory Funk Jr. and Assassin Number 1. This is interesting. Jerry Lawler is down in Florida here. I knew Charlie Cook spent a lot of time down there, but I didn't know that Lawler went to Florida. He just doesn't seem like the type that Eddie Graham would have liked. I guess I'm wrong. And then the team of Dory Funk Jr., Assassin Number 1's interesting. Assassin Number 1, there's got to be Jody Hamilton. So that's pretty interesting stuff. Check this one out next. Mike Graham defeats Ric Flair. Wow. Even in 81. Wow. Jerry Briscoe defeated Mr. Saito in a $5,000 challenge match. Buzz Sawyer drew with El Gran Apollo. The Kiwi Sheep Herders, which I'm assuming are the Sheep Herders, the future Bushwhackers, defeated Tommy Gilbert and Coco Samoa. And this is a mixed tag match here of regular-sized person and little person. So Bobby Jaggers and Little Tokyo defeated Bubba Douglas and Cowboy Lang. I'm not sure who Bubba Douglas is, but I've heard of everybody else in this match, no doubt. And then check this one out. The last match on the card, Tully Blanchard defeated Bill Snyder. That is a stacked card for Championship Wrestling from Florida. You have some serious Hall of Fame names on that card. In fact, if I count, and by Hall of Fame I mean Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Fame, if I count here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You have 11 Hall of Famers on that card. That's pretty impressive. All right, let's head up north from Florida to Charlotte, North Carolina, where Mid-Atlantic Championship Wrestling had a television taping that day, and they were in the WPCQ studios, and the only match that's reported on that card that day in the studios was Ricky Steamboat and Jake Roberts defeated Mike Miller and Jim Nelson. Jim Nelson, of course, would become Private Jim Nelson, which became Boris Zhukov, and Mike Miller, I'm assuming, was the Mike Miller that found some success in the UWF and also the Pacific Northwest. Big guy, interesting look, spent a lot of time in the Northwest and had a lot of success there. So I'm assuming that at this point in 1981, Miller and Nelson are probably pretty new. They're probably rookies here, so they probably acted as enhancement talent for that match. All right, let's head west to Jackson, Mississippi, and actually south. We're heading back south again to Jackson, Mississippi, where Mid-South Wrestling had a card. It does not say what the venue was, and unfortunately, it doesn't tell us either who won the matches. So, Paul Orndorff defeated Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin. There was a 6-man tag match of Junkyard Dog, Ted DiBiase, and Bob Roop, and they defeated Bob Orton with the Wild Samoans. That's pretty interesting that the Samoans worked outside of the WWF at that point. Actually, by 81 there, I think it was the WWF already. Tony Charles wrestled the Iron Sheik. That was probably a really good match. For those of you that don't know who Tony Charles is, Tony Charles was an English wrestler. He wrestled that World of Sport style, spent a lot of time in the States. He eventually pretty much ended his career down in world class, wrestling as Checkmate. You can see some of his matches. That guy was really, really talented. And his matches with Billy Robinson are pretty all-time great matches. If you get a chance, there's a couple of them on YouTube. You can check it out. Tony Charles versus Billy Robinson. Jerry Oates defeated Carl Fergie. Everybody knows Carl Fergie, Memphis referee, also wrestled. And Jerry Oates, one half of the Oates brothers, good wrestler, good hand. Ken Mantell wrestled Vinny Romero. Everybody knows who Ken Mantell is. Ended up as the booker in World Class, and then broke off and started his own Wild West wrestling promotion, and then went back to World Class. And then finally, rounding this card out, was Buddy Landell versus Tug Taylor. I'm not sure who Tug Taylor is, but I certainly know who Buddy Landell is. Buddy Landell was a great wrestler, great heel, arrogant, good size, good in the ring. He was getting a mega push in Jim Crockett Promotions in '86. And Buddy Landell always was Buddy Landell's worst enemy. And he got drugged up and doped up. He was the national heavyweight champion. And they were even talking, now who knows, I'm here listening to this stuff 25, 30 years plus later. Allegedly, they were thinking about doing a Battle of the Nature Boys in a match between Ric Flair and Buddy Landell. And I've even heard that there were rumors of Buddy Landell replacing Ole Anderson in the Horsemen. Again, this is stuff 25 to 35 years later. Who knows what's true? I think a lot of wrestlers, they remember something one way for long enough, and then it becomes fact. So who knows if that was actually true, but Buddy Landell was an excellent wrestler. After that incident with Jim Crockett Promotions, Dusty Rhodes was magically the new national heavyweight champion the next day. Buddy Landell was let go, and we wouldn't see him resurface again in Jim Crockett Promotions until late '87. And then it was kind of sporadic in and out, but I don't think he ever reached the push and the heights he did with that Crockett run there. And unfortunately, I think he passed away 2015 or 2016. Sadly, he was killed in a car accident, I believe it was. I listened to one of his last interviews online. You could find it too if you wanted to. He was a guy that figured things out. I know he worked for Cornette and Smoky Mountain Wrestling. He figured things out later in life and just made a lot of mistakes and a lot of unwise choices in his 20s and early 30s. The World Wrestling Federation, believe it or not, was off that night, or there's just not a card listed. Also, the American Wrestling Association was off that night, or there just wasn't a card listed. So that's going to do it, everybody, for this episode of Spotlight with Brad Drake. And once again, this episode has been brought to you by the PowerCast Network. Patreon.com/PowerCast Network. You can get all our shows way ahead of time. And if you travel on over there, you will see that we have extra podcasts, extra shows. We even have work from other creators listed on Patreon. So check it out if you get a chance. And don't be afraid to check us out on social media, everybody. That's Facebook.com/PowerCast Network. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.